please allow me to introduce our founder and CEO, Kevin Merritt.
Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. All right, hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second annual Socrata Customer Summit. It's great to see so many of you who participated last year in our first summit at the Artisphere return again this year. And it's also wonderful to see so many new faces. Some of you who are new customers, and some of you are longtime customers who are joining us here for the first time this year. So we're also joined by quite a few industry experts and some special guests. They're going to be joining in on the discussions and the panels over the next couple of days. My hope, my hunch, is that by the end of Wednesday, we're all going to be friends, referring to each other simply by our first names. So, what can you expect here at the Customer Summit over the next couple of days? Well, President Obama said recently, I want to ask ourselves every day, how are we using technology to make a real difference in people's lives? So let's consider what that means while we're here convening in the nation's capital this week. Since the last time we all gathered, the team at Socrata has been trying to narrow down the real impact governments have when they effectively use technology and leverage data in the capacity of serving the public. It's clear to me that no one in this room has adopted technology for technology's sake, and I'm certain that no one here has strived to become data-driven simply for the purpose of jumping on a digital bandwagon. No, we're all becoming digital for one reason and one reason alone, which is to meet the needs of modern 21st century digital citizens. Let's talk briefly about the citizens you serve. But let's remember, of course, that we all of us in this room are ourselves first and foremost citizens. As 21st century citizens, we now buy our goods online, we bank online, we book our travel online, we follow our favorite sports teams in real time online, we even view the latest museum exhibits now online. And nudged by an adorable and clever lizard with an Australian accent, we can even renew our car insurance online. We get real-time alerts on the dashboards of our cars and on our phones and even our wristwatches telling us what's going on in the world, what the weather will be like, whether there's traffic ahead, and when the next bus will arrive. It's now more common than ever to read the news and our favorite books on our e-readers, tablets, and phones, and we no longer have to struggle with trying to refold a paper map. No, and none of us have to even try to decipher those tiny tabular bus or subway schedules anymore. No, now we just get turn-by-turn route guidance on our phones and in our cars, or we just simply use Siri or Google Maps or City Mapper. We as a society now take more pictures every single day than we took in an entire year just 5 years ago. We have all become citizen scientists and citizen reporters, turning our phones into news cameras and using social media as a global content distribution network. We instrument ourselves now with heart rate monitors and sleep monitors, glucose monitors, and a multitude of other probes to digitally track what's going on inside our bodies. We're online all the time, including, by the way, while we're here at the summit, simply by using the Socrata customer app on our phones. We can now surf the web from seat 21C, 39,000 feet above Nebraska. We stay close to our friends and stay connected by texting them. We follow the lives of our old high school buddies via Facebook. Yes, we are plugged-in virtual citizens of the world via social media like Twitter and Instagram. Being together here in person has required a lot of us to travel from afar. If you're like me, you came from the West Coast, maybe Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle. Some of you have traveled here from the heartland of America. Many of you have come here from the East Coast. and some have traveled all the way to Washington, D.C. from Canada, Mexico, Spain, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Kenya, and Australia. And if you think about it, now when we travel, we kiss our children goodnight and we say, "Good morning, my love," to our spouses via FaceTime and Skype. That's because we've all become digital citizens. So let's remember to ask ourselves every day, how are we using technology to make a real difference in people's lives? At Socrata, we have intentionally chosen to work exclusively with public sector organizations. And we deliberately chose to work with visionaries and innovators, many of whom are sitting in this room, who are ready to have meaningful conversations about what it means to become a digital government. Consider for a moment that Amazon has replaced Sears, Expedia and Hipmunk have replaced our storefront travel agent, and we haven't entered a bank in years. Why? Well, because we want to do business with more efficient and convenient digital equivalents of the analog world we've left behind. At the Code for America Summit in Oakland earlier this month, the City of Boston's CIO, Yasha Franklin Hodge, made a statement that really resonated with me as an entrepreneur. Yasha said, "We as governments do not get to choose our customers. We have to serve all the residents in our jurisdictions. So if you as governments can't choose your customers, and yet most of your customers have become digital, then what does that imply?" Well, I think it's obvious, not only by the energy and pace from all of you in transforming your organizations, but also by your commitment to be here this week to discuss the future of digital government. The implication is that the needs of modern 21st century digital citizens can only be met by modern 21st century digital governments. Just as banks had to shift from their 9-to-5 wait in line to talk to a teller service delivery model to now a 24/7 serve yourself online anytime model, so too must government adapt. This summit is focused on sharing how public sector institutions are transforming themselves from 20th century analog organizations into 21st century digital institutions in order to meet the needs of a modern citizenry and, frankly, to remain relevant. Remember that we as consumers were able to shift our purchasing from Amazon to Sears, to Amazon when Sears didn't become digital fast enough. But most of us as citizens, we just can't simply get up and move to Estonia, perhaps the most digital national government on the planet. No, citizens will just tune out. And when citizens tune out, government becomes irrelevant. But fortunately, leading public sector institutions, which are well represented here today, were early to recognize the urgent need to become digital in order to shift their service delivery online where citizens can interact with government at any time, day or night. So over the next few days, you're going to see a showcase of digital government innovation, and I believe that you're going to be inspired. The first dose of inspiration will be from all the serendipitous, deep conversations you're going to have with the more than 500 people who will be here this week, in the halls, at the breaks, over lunch, at the cocktail hours, in the breakout sessions, and at the Civic Awesome Dinner tonight. And remember that you're in the comfort and safety here of being with old and new trusted friends and colleagues. You can openly share your ideas, your opportunities, your challenges, and your experiences. What's worked well in Montgomery County might also work well in Douglas County or Salt Lake County. The challenges that have been faced by Chattanooga might have already been solved in Cincinnati, Louisville, Gainesville, or New Orleans. I believe that the state of Utah has a few tricks that can benefit the states of New York, Illinois, and California. And Bristol in the UK, you can swap some ideas with Seattle in the USA. So while you're here, challenge yourself to hang out with people you don't already know. Mix and mingle. Compare notes. NASA and Treasury, They work in entirely different domains, but I believe they share a passion for utilizing data to deliver on their missions. And what a great event place that we have here this week for you to start those meaningful conversations. I believe we have one thing in common with each other in this room, and that is that we all believe in the power of data to improve society and government. I think that you'll find the second dose of inspiration will come from all the dynamic speakers and panelists who will share their experiences, their success stories, and yeah, even a few failures that prove to be invaluable lessons along the way. There are thought-provoking talks lined up for today and tomorrow that demonstrate how technology is making a real difference in people's lives around the world. We're a diverse group, and we have a equally diverse group of speakers and sessions for you. We have sessions on municipal governments, sessions for federal agencies. We have sessions focused on health and education, finance and public safety. The sessions today and tomorrow are designed intentionally for sharing the experiences that these governments have had with each of you here in this forum. And as you know, sharing data and sharing our stories with citizens in an easy and digestible way is often done through the classic and now digital form of storytelling. So in just a few minutes, Ben Wellington, who's a PhD hedge fund quant by day and urban data scientist by night, he's going to kick things off by sharing some great discoveries he's made analyzing and blogging about city data. Mayor Jimenez and Mike Sarasdi are going to share their vision for how they're transforming Miami-Dade into a data-driven county, leveraging data to better communicate with residents in their session titled, Telling Your Data-Driven Story. Reflecting on the past, we're going to hear from 3 former state CIOs and CTOs, Karen Robinson, Kristen Russell, and Claire Bailey. They've all now gone on to the private sector, but they're going to share with us what they wish they knew when they were still in the public sector. In one of the most unique talks this week, we're going to hear from Julie Steenson of Kansas City, Missouri. She's going to share how they turn data into art in order to reach the non-technical, artsy crowd there in their city. We're going to hear a lightning talk on how Denver is coping with new laws that have legalized marijuana, and they're going to do that they're going to talk about how they've really analyzed what's going on there through a data-driven impact analysis. Lynette Kwamboka will tell us how they do open data in Kenya and how that work has catapulted Kenya into a position of global leadership in digital government. Ron Galperin will be here. He's the controller of the city of Los Angeles, and he's going to take a slightly different spin and tell us how open data is revolutionizing government operations inside of LA. Staying with that theme of improving operations, Kevin Lembo, the comptroller of the state of Connecticut, he's going to offer some insights on how data benefits internal staff and stakeholders there. Carmen Sanchez will tell us how their open data program in Gavà in Catalonia is benefiting the government employees there. These are areas to explore how technology is making a real difference in people's lives. We're going to hear from Max Wyde and Stephen Hilton of Bristol in the United Kingdom, who are turning Bristol into one of the smartest, greenest, and most connected cities, not only in Europe, but all around the world, and it's all powered by open data. CIO Pedro Lopez Sanchez is here from the city of city of Gijón, one of the most advanced cities in Spain, to share how open data has led to a more transparent and efficient government and, as importantly, more engaged citizens. We're going to learn how open data is improving the developing world. And to keep things real, we want to be honest and transparent. Christo Norman of the ACT Government of Australia, that's their national capital. He's going to tell us why open data is sometimes a bad idea. Tomorrow I'm going to interview Tony Lockett and try to get him to tell us how the European Commission is using open data to drive economic impact across Europe. From storytelling to art to new ways of thinking, both domestically and internationally, we're going to go beyond our normal boundaries with a talk from George Savolka of NASA about open data-powered space applications. If you were here last year, you got to know John Swabish. Well, he's back. John is from the Urban Institute. And this year he's going to show us new ways to visualize data in order to unlock value and think beyond our perceived limitations. Mayor Strange of Montgomery, Alabama is going to share how he's leading Montgomery into the 21st century through data-fueled transparency. We're going to get a peek into the minds of some of the smartest data scientists tackling some of the most interesting societal challenges through machine learning and data analytics. And if you're a student of performance management as a means to improve outcomes and efficiency in the public sector, then you're going to love the panel of experts we've brought together for a vibrant discussion on this topic. You want to learn how to transform your budget from a 600-page static PDF into an interactive financial dashboard? Well, be sure to come and sit in on the session led by one of the most authoritative experts on government financial data, Michael Bailey, the finance director from the city of Redmond. The city of Seattle's CTO, Michael Mattmiller, is going to team up with one of the really most interesting entrepreneurs, Derek Eater, the founder of DataMade and one of the most prolific civic developers in Chicago, to talk about how government can collaborate with the developer community around open data. And David Eves is back this year to challenge us once again and give us an entirely new perspective on the government data stack. Part of what makes this event so special is the close relationships that form here. By way of example, we have a panel of 3 experts who all met for the very first time at the first Socrata Customer Summit last year and who have stayed in touch almost weekly throughout this year. Barb Cohn, Victoria Lewis, and John Reidner, 3 open data practitioners who've shed some blood, sweat, and tears leading the open data initiatives in their areas, are going to share with us their ideas on how to build grassroots support inside of government. Well, we at Socrata are very excited about what's going on within federal agencies and across our growing roster of federal customers. We've been working hard on initiatives like FedRAMP certification, and we're very proud to be working with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on their new data portal that makes chronic disease risk factors and a wealth of health indicators all available and accessible online. This work that the CDC is doing, literally, it's saving lives. Continuing on with our federal track, Dr. Tyrone Grandison is going to be here from the Department of Commerce. He's going to tell us about how that data-rich federal agency is turning data into a powerful and strategic asset. And we've assembled a panel of government and industry experts who are going to discuss the Data Act and how it's improving how federal agencies are managing their spending. One of the most important and poignant topics this year is the rising tension between police and the communities they serve. But accessible, complete, accurate, and open data can reunite these groups. You're going to love this passionate panel of experts we're bringing together to talk about bridging the data divide between cops and those communities. Our panel of public safety experts includes Denise Ross, who's on the White House Police Data Task Force, Emily Shaw, the Policy Director at the Sunlight Foundation, Justin Ehrlich from the California Department of Justice, Mike Wagers from the Seattle Police Department, and Tiffany Andrews, who's a Code for America Fellow doing some great work with the Police Department in the city of Indianapolis. Being together and being part of a community of forward-thinking public sector innovators is the highlight of the year for the team and me at Socrata. Those of you who are attending the summit really inspire us in your resolve to make a real difference in people's lives. By sharing your best practices, you're helping to transform the last industry from analog to digital. So while I have the podium, I'd like to convey a sentiment on behalf of almost 100 Socrata employees who are here at the summit this week and another 100 or so who are back at our headquarters in Seattle. We're here to share, to present, to connect, and to convene. And we're also here to listen to you, our customers. Our best ideas and our most innovative products have come from deep collaborative design partnership relationships with customers like Beth Blower when she was in the state of Maryland, and Victoria Lewis in Montgomery County, and Michael Mattmiller in the city of Seattle. Thank you three, and thank all of you in this room for your ongoing partnership with us. Our success as a company, it has to mirror your success as a government organization. And candidly, in this regard, we can do better. We're here at the summit to tell you concretely how we're rapidly improving our platform, how we're developing repeatable success methodologies to ensure you're successful, and how we're even reorganizing ourselves as a company to support you better. As importantly, we're here over the next couple of days to listen to you. Our engineers are here, our product managers are here, our customer success people are here, our executives are here, and we want to hear from you. So last year, at our first customer summit, I shared with you a vision of a very long journey. In fact, I called it a data odyssey, in which data would be at the heart of an important service delivery transformation. That vision has started to materialize. Citizens are becoming more digital every day. Think about how much has changed just in the last 8 years, the length of time that Socrata has existed as a company. The world has become digital. Our children are digital natives. They're growing up in a world where there is no such thing as offline. Their reality is that everything should be online and accessible all the time. My kids, they don't understand a world in which the TV shows they want to watch are not available on demand. And if this is the new normal for individuals, what are the ramifications for you all as governments? What will the next 8 years hold? Well, I suspect that the pace of transformation will accelerate, the amount of data that you have to contend with will explode, and the demands of a fully digital constituency will increase. But as much as these are challenges, they're at the same time opportunities. Opportunities for us to rethink the problem space, to reinvent government, and to reconnect with your constituents. And Socrata wants to be your trusted partner on that journey with you. So this is the last year that we're going to call this the Socrata Customer Summit. I don't know what we're going to call it next year. You know, given all the groovy vibe that I'm feeling from everybody, maybe we'll call it Burning Man for Govies, or Public Sector Woodstock, or the Government Renaissance Fair. Or more seriously, and all kidding aside, you know, maybe next year we'll just simply call it the Conference on Digital Government. But whatever its title, the focus will remain the same. It'll be about helping government meet the needs of modern 21st century digital citizens. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for working hard to improve quality of life. Thank you for your commitment to boost economic prosperity within your communities. Thank you for striving for operational excellence in your organizations. Thank you for using technology to make a real difference in people's lives. We are all 21st century digital citizens. Thank you.